bullet just hit Simo Hauha and he's lying in the snow, unconscious. 1 second, he's looking through his rifle. The next, everything goes black. The round struck him in the jaw, an explosive bullet designed to do catastrophic damage. He's badly wounded, blood staining the snow beneath him. Finnish soldiers rush to him, check for a pulse. They find one, barely. He's alive, for now. They drag him away from the front line, his body limp, face unrecognizable, blood soaking through the white snow camouflage he's wearing. The medics don't think he'll make it. Nobody survives a wound like this. Not in 1940, not in the middle of a war zone with limited medical supplies. But here's what makes this even more insane. The man lying unconscious in the snow isn't just another soldier. He's the most feared sniper in the world. For the last 100 days, he's been humiliating the Soviet army. They call him the White Death. And right now, everyone's asking the same question. Will he survive? He's hanging on by a thread. But here's what makes this story even more unbelievable. This man isn't a professional soldier. He's not a trained assassin. He's not special forces. He's a farmer. A regular farmer who got mobilized when the Soviet Union invaded his country. So, how does a farmer become the deadliest sniper in history? November 30th, 1939. The Soviet Union invades Finland with over 1 million troops, thousands of tanks, and one simple goal: take the country in a week. Stalin wants Finnish territory to create a buffer zone around Leningrad. He thinks Finland is weak, small, outnumbered, an easy target. The Soviet army crosses the border expecting no real resistance. They're wrong. Finland mobilizes every man who can hold a rifle. Farmers, factory workers, teachers, everyone. One of those men is Simo Hauha. He's 34 years old, a farmer from a tiny town called Rautjärvi near the Soviet border. He's short, 5'3", barely 160 centimeters. Nothing about him looks like a soldier, but Simo can shoot. He's been hunting in the Finnish forest since he was a kid. Rabbits, deer, foxes. The woods near his farm are brutal. Dense trees, freezing temperatures. If you can't shoot accurately, you don't survive winter. So Simo learned. Spent years tracking animals through snow, learning to stay invisible, learning to take a shot with frozen hands and hold your breath in -40-degree cold. He got so good, he started competing in shooting contests, won some of them. But it was just a hobby, something to do between farm work. Simo had already done his mandatory military service years earlier, 1 year. Then back to the farm. That was supposed to be it. But now the Soviet Union is invading, and Finland needs every man who can pull a trigger. Simo gets his mobilization notice. He packs his hunting rifle, a Finnish Mosin Nagant M2830, says goodbye to his farm. Simo Hauha reports for duty, a 34-year-old farmer with a hunting rifle. The Soviet army has 1 million soldiers, thousands of tanks, and air superiority. It should be a slaughter. But remember where we started. A bullet just tore through Simo's face. He's unconscious, dying. You're asking the same question everyone asks. What happened between this moment and that bullet? How did a farmer terrify an entire army? We'll answer that. But first, let's go back to the hospital. Because right now, as we're talking, Simo is lying on a table, and the doctors don't think he's going to make it. Right now, at this exact moment, medics are fighting to save Simo Hauha's life. His face is destroyed, blood everywhere. The wound is catastrophic. An explosive bullet tore through his jaw, shattered bone, ripped apart tissue. This isn't something you survive. Not in 1940. Not in a freezing tent in the middle of a war zone with almost no medical equipment. But the Finnish medics are trying anyway. They work fast. Bandages, pressure on the wound, anything to stop the bleeding. One doctor examines the damage and his face goes pale. There's almost nothing left of Simo's jaw. How is he even still breathing? Simo is completely unconscious. No movement, no response. Just shallow, irregular breathing that could stop at any moment. His pulse is there, barely, weak, fading. The medics know the statistics. Facial wounds like this are fatal. The blood loss alone should have killed him already. But somehow, he's still holding on.
Do you think he's gonna make it?
Did you see his face? I've never seen anything like that. God, I'm gonna see that wound in my nightmares.
Still, I hope he survives. The men respect Camo. We can't lose him.
Then we should pray. Only God can help him now.
The doctors do everything they can, clean the wound, try to stabilize him, but the damage is too severe. Even if they could transport him to a real hospital with real surgeons, the chances are almost zero. And they can't transport him. Not yet. He's too unstable. Moving him might kill him. So they wait, monitor his breathing, check his pulse every few minutes, and hope. But here's what makes this even more tragic. Camo Hauha isn't just another wounded soldier. He's the reason Finland is still fighting. So how did a farmer become that important? What did he do that made the Soviets so desperate to kill him? While the medics fight for his life, I need to tell you about the heroism of this farmer. How he single-handedly held back the Soviet war machine, an army that outnumbered the Finns 10-1, an army with unlimited tanks, planes, and ammunition, and one farmer with a rifle stopped them cold. Finnish-Soviet border, December 1939. Camo Hauha just killed his first Soviet soldier, and nobody saw him do it. The Soviets are advancing through the forest, hundreds of soldiers moving in formation, confident, loud. They think Finland will collapse in days. Then one soldier drops, dead, shot through the head. The others freeze, look around. Where did that come from? They scan the tree line. Nothing, just white snow and dark trees. Another shot. Another soldier falls. Panic. Officers start shouting. Soldiers dive for cover, fire randomly into the forest, but they can't see anyone. Camo is 150 meters away, lying in the snow, completely invisible. He's wearing full white winter camouflage, his rifle wrapped in white cloth, buried in a snowbank with only his head and rifle exposed. And he's not moving, because Camo learned something hunting in these forests for 30 years. Movement gets you seen, noise gets you killed. So he stays perfectly still, watches the Soviets scramble, terrified, confused. He lines up another shot, a Soviet officer trying to organize his men. Camo exhales slowly, squeezes the trigger. The officer drops. The Soviets retreat, leaving their dead behind. Camo doesn't chase them. He stays in position, motionless. 20 minutes later, a Soviet patrol comes back, looking for the sniper. 8 soldiers, rifles up, moving slowly through the snow. They're checking every tree, every snowbank, every possible hiding spot. Camo is still there, buried in the snow, 50 meters away. He can hear their voices, Russian commands, boots crunching in the snow getting closer. 40 meters, 30 meters. One soldier stops, looks directly at Camo's position. The soldier stares for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Camo doesn't blink, doesn't breathe, doesn't move a muscle. The soldier shrugs, moves on. The patrol walks past, 20 meters away, then 10. One soldier steps within 5 meters of Camo's position, so close Camo could reach out and touch his boot. The patrol keeps moving. Their voices fade into the distance. Gone. Only then does Camo move, slowly, carefully. He slips out of the snow, silent as death, and disappears into the forest. That's how it starts. Day 1, 3 kills. But Camo isn't done. He comes back the next day, and the next, and the next. Different positions every time. Different angles, same result. Soviet soldiers dropping without warning. And here's why camo is so deadly. He's using tactics the Soviets have never seen. He doesn't use a scope on his rifle. Why? Because scopes reflect sunlight, create a glint that gives away your position. Camo uses iron sights, harder to aim but invisible. He puts snow in his mouth before shooting. Why? Because in -40-degree cold, your breath creates vapor, a white cloud that shows exactly where you are. Snow in the mouth prevents that. He pours water on the snow in front of his position. Why? Because rifle fire kicks up snow, creates a visible puff that marks your location. Frozen snow doesn't move. Simple. Genius. Deadly. Within 2 weeks, camo has killed 50 Soviet soldiers. By January, over 100. By February, over 200. The Red Army is panicking. Soldiers refuse to patrol certain areas. Officers can't control their men. The mere rumor that he's nearby causes chaos. They start calling him the White Death, and Soviet command is furious. How is one Finnish farmer destroying their invasion? One man against a million-man army. It's humiliating, unacceptable. By late February 1940, Camo Hauha has killed over 300 Soviet soldiers. 300. Think about that for a second. One man, one rifle, 300 enemy soldiers dead in less than 3 months. The Soviet Union, one of the most powerful militaries on Earth, is being terrorized by a farmer who learned to shoot hunting rabbits. And now the Soviets have had enough. They're done being embarrassed. They're throwing everything they have at finding the White Death. Elite snipers, artillery strikes, massive patrols, rewards for his capture. The biggest manhunt in Soviet military history, all for one farmer. So how does Camo survive? How does he outsmart an entire army hunting him? What happens next will show you why the White Death became a legend.
Let me take a moment here. If you're enjoying this story, please subscribe. It really helps us create more quality content like this.
Soviet military headquarters, February 1940. The commanders have a problem, and his name is Camo Hauha. Over 300 Soviet soldiers are dead, all killed by one Finnish farmer. It's the most embarrassing military failure of the entire war. Stalin is furious. The generals are desperate. Something has to be done. So they launch the biggest manhunt in Soviet military history for one man. First, they send counter-snipers, elite marksmen pulled from other fronts, the best shots in the Red Army. Their mission is simple: find the White Death and kill him. The first team arrives in early February. 5 snipers, experienced, confident. They set up positions in the forest where Camo operates, wait for him to appear. 3 days later, all 5 are dead, shot by Camo. The Soviets send another team, then another. Same result. Camo knows these forests. He knows where snipers hide, where they set up, what positions give the best angles. He's been hunting here for 30 years. These Soviet snipers have been here for 3 days. It's not even a fair fight. So the Soviets try something else: artillery. If they can't find him, they'll just destroy everything. They identify the areas where Camo operates, grid coordinates, map sections, and they unleash hell. Artillery shells rain down on the forest, hundreds of them, obliterating trees, cratering the ground, turning entire sections of woodland into smoking ruins. The bombardments last for hours. When the smoke clears, Soviet patrols move in to confirm the kill. They find nothing. No body, no blood, no trace of Camo, because he's already gone. Camo hears the artillery coming, the whistle of incoming shells. He knows what's happening, so he moves, slips deeper into the forest, finds new positions, waits for the bombing to stop. Then he comes back and keeps killing. The Soviets are baffled. How is he surviving this? They try increasing patrols, flooding the forest with soldiers. If one man can't find him, maybe 100 can. They send massive search parties, 50 soldiers at a time, sweeping through the woods in formation, looking for any sign of the White Death. Camo watches them from hidden positions, lets them pass. then picks off stragglers, soldiers at the back of the formation. One shot. When the soldiers turn back and see their comrade dead, camo is already gone. The Soviets try tracking him, following footprints in the snow. But camo knows how to move without leaving traces. He walks on frozen ground, steps in the footprints of animals, covers his tracks. And when he does leave prints, he walks backward. So his tracks lead away from where he's actually going. It's maddening. The Soviet soldiers are freezing, exhausted, terrified. They know the White Death is out there, watching, waiting. Any moment could be their last. Morale collapses. Soldiers refuse orders, desert their posts. Officers threaten executions for cowardice. It doesn't help, because the fear isn't cowardice, it's rational. Simo Hauha is the most dangerous man in Finland, and the Soviet army can't stop him. By early March, Soviet command is desperate. They offer a massive reward. Any soldier who kills or captures the White Death gets a promotion, money, recognition. Thousands of soldiers are now actively hunting him, patrols everywhere, eyes scanning every tree line, every snowbank. But it doesn't matter, because Simo isn't just a sniper. He's a ghost, invisible, untouchable. And by March 6, 1940, his kill count has reached over 500 confirmed kills. 500 Soviet soldiers dead by one farmer with a rifle. The largest sniper kill count in history. The Soviet Union has thrown everything at him. Elite snipers, artillery bombardments, massive patrols, huge rewards. None of it worked. Simo Hauha is still out there, still killing, still winning. But remember how this story started? So what happens on March 6th that finally brings down the ghost nobody could catch? March 6, 1940. One Soviet soldier is about to do what thousands couldn't, kill the White Death. Simo Hauha is in his position, hidden in the snow, doing what he's done for 100 days, hunting. A Soviet patrol moves through the forest. Simo lines up a shot, exhales, squeezes the trigger. The soldier drops. But this time, something is different. Another Soviet soldier sees it, the muzzle flash. Just a tiny flicker, a fraction of a second, but enough. He raises his rifle, aims at the snowbank where the flash came from, and fires. An explosive round. The bullet hits Simo directly in the jaw. His face explodes. Simo collapses. The white snow around him turns red. Finnish soldiers hear the shot. They sprint to him, drag him away from the front line, rush him to the field hospital. The medics see the wound and shake their heads. Nobody survives this. But they work anyway. Bandages, pressure, anything to stop the bleeding. Hours pass. Simo doesn't wake up. His pulse is weak, his breathing shallow. The doctors do everything they can. Stabilize him, clean the wound, but the damage is catastrophic. Half his face is gone. The medics are fighting a losing battle. Then, somehow, against every medical expectation, Simo Hauha's body refuses to die. The medics keep him alive long enough to transport him to a real hospital. Surgeons work for hours reconstructing what they can. 1 week later, March 13th, Simo wakes up. The same day the Winter War officially ends. Finland and the Soviet Union sign a peace treaty. The fighting is over. Simo opens his eyes in a hospital bed, half his face wrapped in bandages, unable to speak, but alive. The war he fought for is finished, and he survived. Simo Hauha lived for another 62 years. He returned to his farm, lived quietly, never talked much about the war. Sometimes the most dangerous person isn't the one with the most experience, it's the one fighting for home.